Welcome. Welcome. So, we are building this. This is what we are going to build step by step, one after the other. So, for start, let's start with this. So, because it might seem, uh, it might seem kind of confusing if you don't actually know what you want to build. So that's why I want to start with this. So this system is a you are trying to create a chatbot for a certain brand, like where customer can interact with the bot. Like they send a message to him concerning, maybe they want to ask a certain question on the brand. They text the bot, they interact with the bot, and it gives them replies. So let me show you this interface. I believe you can see something like this. So this is what we mean by the chatbot. So you'll have been seeing this when you go to a site and you are like, what do I do? You say, I ask assistant or chatbot, click on it. So when you click on it, you just say something like this. Because this is my own, you can see. This is my own. This is why I say, hi, this is El Hassani. How can I help you? So this is the one I created from this back end you are seeing here. So I created it from here, and this is how it looks at the front end to anybody that is trying to interact. So now, when you get there, you type something like hello hi, but you want it to be trained in the sense that if they are asking question which is out of what you expect, what do you want the bot to do, it is not going to be replying them. So that is why we actually need a file, create the file, get it embedded, connect the embeddings to the chat assistant. So now you can see I said LOI. Now let me say, who is Elon Musk? So I'm trying to ask a question that is out of the scope, because this one I built it for Google brand information. So it's not really all the Google brand actually, but it is based on the document I loaded with. So you can see what it says. I'm sorry, but I can't help with that because it is out of the scope. Now let's say you now say, what is uh meta meta let's say like meta plan plans for quarter 4 the 2025. This is not a meta bot. So you see, so you see, I'm sorry, but I can't help with that. This is out of the scope entirely, like out of the scope. Now let's now come to the Google. Let's say, who is Google CEO? This is not it is not included in the document I loaded the bot with. So just see what it's going to say. So you see, this is related to Google actually, but what it says, the available documents do not contain enough information to answer that accurately. So this is out of the scope, not in the document. Now, in the document, because it is a created document, I just went ahead and generated by myself. And so something like this, what is Google Workspace? Paid user subscription for business starter. Let me now ask this. This is inside the document. I'm very sure of this. So now you can see, but the AI actually reform it in some sense that it's not exactly the way it is in the document. So if I open the document, I forgot to open that initially. So I did mean I have the document readily, you will have seen, but let's not get ourselves disturbed with this. So but you can see this is a proper response regarding this because it is what inside the document. So this is what we want to build, and it was built through what you are seeing on your screen. So now we are starting with this. So we actually have two different sections. Everything you are seeing at this side, all these guys you are seeing here, so all these guys you are seeing at this right hand side, so the one you are seeing on my screen right now, so they are actually, all these ones are just meant to get embeddings. So they are meant to create embeddings, and what embeddings means are a form of numerical representations. Okay, let me go to superbars. I will show you an example of embedding. So it is like a form of a numerical uh, representation for words. So instead of writing words blue, black, red, so it is now represented in numbers. So you can see something like this. So these are embeddings. Oh, this is not going to open, but these are embeddings. Let me show you. So you can see this one. Everything you are seeing here, they are all embeddings. So you can see they are in numbers. So this is what was converted into the embeddings. Everything that is here, this text you are seeing here, they are being converted into this. And the reason for that is because it will be easier for the AI to read through this letter instead of the words. And also it will allow the AI to have a semantic searching, and semantic search means it is going to be searching with meaning. So words with a certain meaning, like 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 a king. You know, a king is related to monarch, related to prince, related to queen. So those words, their numbers will be closer to each other. I get it. So when you ask a question related to king, so now it will allow the AI to also bring out results which are related to it. So but it is going to be using all these embeddings, these numbers you are seeing here. So these are what is being converted into this. So and to do this, that is what we are doing at this part. Everything you are seeing here is just to convert the word which are in alphabet to the embeddings which are in numbers. So and at this side, this is where you now see the interactions with the AI itself. You can see my AI here. So this things you are seeing here, so this is what you are now using at the front end. So but the AI you get here, this one is the chat interface which I showed you earlier. So you got in the chat interface, then you send a message. After you sent a message, so this is what was working, that was generating the response for me. So when you sent a message to the AI, it's now used. I'm using Groq as the so but let me we get into all this one after the other. So but when you send a message to the AI, this guy is the one that is going to speak the natural language which you can understand. It will help in getting, okay, this is what this person is saying. So when you send your message, the first thing is this message will now be converted. Those words you sent will now be converted into embeddings as well, like in form of numerical X representations, as I showed you. Like for this side as well, the same thing is happening. So whenever you send a text, everything you send will now be converted into embeddings. So these embeddings, which are in numbers, will now be easier for the AI to match these embeddings here with the embeddings that you've already created at the back end. So these are from your chart. The message you send will now be converted to embeddings through this guy. After it's converted to embeddings, it will now relate this guy and the one at the database together. Now from that, it will be able to generate what are related to each other to bring out a response. So when it get that, it go to the database store, and now it will now give whatever it's got that matches your question. Like the question you ask, it is similar to what is inside the embeddings. It will now bring them up. Now give it back to the AI. This AI will now use the natural, it is a large language model, so it is able to understand natural language. So it will now use his own his intellect, what should I call it? So the way it is designed, so it will now go through the question and the answer and match them together. Like, okay, this is how I'm supposed to respond using these embeddings that were generated. So this is what the Groq assistant here do, and this guy is for memory. Like when you are chatting with the AI, so you first ask a question, so for it not to forget what you've asked before. So now that is why we are using this memory. So let me show you how it works. So let's say, okay, now I've asked this question. So now let me now say, what do you, I don't know, maybe this is going to work. Do you just say, let me say, like, say, say So now you see, but this is what I'm saying. Like the memory, that Postgres memory, was one that allowed the AI to recall what was said, like the last message is sent to you. So if the Postgres wasn't there, so it won't be easier for the AI to know the last message that was sent. So this should be clear. Like just to explain the fundamentals before we now move into what exactly are we having on the screen. So I expect that to be clear. So this is the file you load, the document that contains all your details, the details of the brand that is in need of the bot. So their details are here, the details you want the bot to be answering client customers with. So everything is inside this document. Then you give the document into this workflow, and it converts it to what embeddings. So all the words inside it will be converted to numbers. So after being converted to numbers, everything will now be stored. The words and the numbers will be stored in your superbus, which you can see here. So these are the words and these are the embeddings that was generated by Cohere. Cohere helped to convert them to this, and these are the matching words to these words, to these embeddings. So this is what it's simply saying here. Now let us go into creating this together. So we are starting from here. So as you can see the nodes, the first node here is a trigger node. So the first node, which is for every workflow you must have a trigger node. Like when a certain action is taken, the workflow should be triggered, and you must keep this on before it can work. So me chatting with this bot and getting replies is because the active button is being toggled on. So if it is not on, you won't be getting the response from the AI. So this must be on. And so now the trigger here is what initiates this data storing. I'm just storing data here. Everything is here. I just want to store the document for the brand that is using the AI. So I just want to store the data for their brand, and the data I stored will now be used by these bots. This is just meant to store the data. This is where the AI will now get use of the data you stored. Now, so the trigger node here, as you can see, is expected to be triggered when a new file is being created. So we are making use of our Google Drive. So and in this sense, so it is like when a new file is being uploaded into a Google Drive folder, you create a folder which is it's strictly meant for the brand. So you are not going to be playing around with such folder. So okay, let me open this because you need to see how my folder actually looks like. So you want to create the folder, and sorry, so this is one I created actually. So I created a folder, so a FAQ test. So this folder, this FAQ testing, everything that is going to be stored inside this folder will be saved into this embedding. If anything is being stored, new file is being created, it will be saved into this embeddings you are seeing here. So which means this must be strictly taken care of. So when you open it, and maybe I bring a new folder and save it here, that workflow is going to be triggered. If I should go inside this Google document, if I go in it and I edited some things inside this, it is going to trigger the node, because so these are just the two. Let us get back to what I'm saying. So this is just the file, the folder that the workflow is meant to be monitoring. So whenever something happens inside this folder, the workflow is going to be triggered. So this workflow will be triggered. This workflow. Now, if I add a new folder, you see, if I add a new folder, that is when maybe the company has a new folder which maybe they generated it for their, let's say like a food brand. So they generated a new file for their menus, so and they want to give it to you for you to upload it for them. So now when they save the new folder, it will also trigger this workflow, and the new folder will not be converted into embeddings as you saw earlier. Now, so on this, upon creating a new folder, or maybe when you update the Google Doc, which I opened earlier, if you update anything inside it, you edit like you maybe you went there and delete some things, add some new things, maybe you need to change some policy in your company and you went there and changed them. So once you complete the changes, it is now going to also load into this workflow and get it into these embeddings, replacing the one you did earlier. Now, so that is just that about this. So and to get this node, it is a Google Drive node, and let's open it. So it's a Google Drive node, but it must be a trigger node. So this is how you should always detect a trigger node. Let's say, sorry, let's say I'm adding a new node. So now it's a drive, right? A drive node. This is a drive node, Google Drive. When you click on it, just come downward. You can see these triggers. So when you see, then you are going to see this type. And what we are now saying is on changes to a specific folder, because we are using a folder, so this is what I used. You can see, then you have to connect your drive, then you went to the folder which you are using. So let me remove this. So you open the node. So this one is on file updated, it's not created. So the difference is just that you trigger it when changes involving a specific folder. Yeah, so but it is when you update, because it is inside that folder. The first one was checking when a new file is created. You see, this is file updated. So the other one is file created. So this one is when the file is updated inside this folder. Just try and understand this. When it is being updated or added into this folder, so this is what these are what these two nodes are working on. So that one should be clear by now. So to do this, you open the folder, the node, connect it to your Google Drive where the folder you are using is, and you come. So I made this every minute, like it should be checking it every minute. You might decide to extend your time maybe to every 10 minutes, every 1 hour, every 2 hours, every day, but this is just the interval when this workflow will be checking the folder. Now say trigger on changes involving a specific folder, which is the folder I showed you. That was the folder I connected, and this is where I connect the folder. You can see the folder name here. So all these are the folders inside my drive, all of this. So this is the one I need, and that is why I connected it. So that means any changes that is being done inside this folder, anything that is being done, which is a new changes, which is, you see, I'll say when a new file is created inside this folder, this node will start working and it will initiate this flow. Now, after you've added this, you want to upload file into, you shouldn't upload the file before creating this. So you want to create this node before you add the file for it to actually pick it. So after you've uploaded the file, you are going to see, you will be able to execute this and get some results like this, which is what we'll be using for our next stage. So for this next stage, we are using a set node. So this set node is just for us to be able to extract. Okay, let me execute this workflow. Let me execute this for us to see how it is working. So there, so now this is the set node. What we are actually doing with the set node is for us to extract the new file that was added. We want to extract the file ID. So every file that is being uploaded into Drive, so that is one of the wonderful things they did. Every file you uploaded will have a unique ID of its own. So every file will have a unique ID of its own, and for this file, so for whichever file you are using, you must just scroll down. You are going to see the file name. If it is not the name, that means the ID is not meant for it. So this is the name of the folder I'm using, the file rather. So, and this was the file I uploaded last, and this is the ID. So this is what we want to extract for it to be used for our next steps. So you want to extract this file ID and you bring it into this set node. I believe you can see this. You just say what is the name of the string. So this is what I wrote, file ID, right? I put it here, then you come here and take the ID and drop it here. That means every file that you drop will have different ID of their own, and this will now allow it to be it will allow this set node to work dynamically. So when you upload a new file, you get the new ID for the new file based on what you've done here. So this is just all you need. It's not much. You just want to extract the file ID because you need to use it in the coming node, the other node. So you want to use them. So what you are now doing with this, now you can see delete a row. So I already told you, you want to take our file and upload it into what? We want to change it to embeddings. After you change it to embeddings, you upload it in Superbus. Now, what Superbus is, let me give a simple analogy which you can relate with. So what Superbus is like a public shelf, like a public library. Okay, let's say public library. You know, in a library you have shelves where you are storing books. So, and these books, okay, if you've been to library, you know they will have tag for a certain book. Every book has its own tag. So now, whatever you are now creating with this, which have been converted to embeddings, will be saved into the shelf. Everything you converted will be saved into the shelf, and for it to be saved, it will match the words which are in normal alphabets, which I showed you. It will match them with the numerical representations like this. So this is how Superbus actually looks like. So this is the shelf, this is the alphabet, and this is the numbers which are representing this alphabet. So for you to now say, okay, you want to come and find something like this, this is what the numbers we showed you. So this is a Superbus node. So now, why we are now having this delete row here, why we are having it is for us to delete if a previous file, this file we are uploading, this file, if it has been uploaded previously, we want to delete it. You want to delete the previous one that was uploaded, you want to remove it. So, and you can see the error here now is, you can see everything is being uploaded more than once. So because the delete node did not work, and the reason was because the file I uploaded was not having enough metadata. So when I started using it, running it and running it and running it, it wasn't working. So I just kept it that way because I couldn't have enough time to go back and start creating a new file to get the metadata properly set. So because I use Google Doc, so that was why the metadata were not set. So but these are from what? This file I uploaded. This file I uploaded in my Google Drive. This file, this guy. So all what you are seeing here are from this guy. Like all you are seeing here, rather. So everything you are seeing here is from that file. So don't get confused. We still dive into this one after the other. So now come here. We said we want to delete the row. Like the previous one you saved, you don't want to save a single file more than once. So and that is why I showed you what this delete node actually need to do. This delete guy. So is like, I want to show you the repetitions here. So you can see this Google brand features, terms and condition. So you will also see it after some steps. You see it. You can see it here. It's because the delete node did not perform its function. That is why you are seeing this, and this is what we want the delete node to be working for. So you want to be removing the repetitions. So instead of saving it again, it will now come here and delete the previous one I've saved, and it will replace it with the new one using the file ID. So that was why we extracted the file ID with this guy before, because every Google Drive file you uploaded, we have a unique file ID. So and that means with that you can differentiate, okay, this file is from this ID is for this file. So when they upload it again, just come and delete all the previous one. Now put the new ones using this ID to differentiate. So that is what the delete node is doing. So you see it is from a Superbus node, Superbase. So we have it from a Superbase node. Okay, for your Superbase to connect it to n8n, you go to Superbase, create your account. So you create your account, So after you create your account, what you need is you want to create a project. You want to create a project. So if you are not seeing it on the screen, you can just come, I think, somewhere here. Okay. Sorry, I did not. Okay, so you can come, let's say, okay, you click here, click on this, then you can see a new project. So because everything you are doing must be stored in a certain project, so after you create the project, so the one I used, I said n8n tutorial testing. So after you created the project, so you come to this table editor. So this is where the data will be stored. So but for you to connect your n8n and to the superbus, you need your credentials to be able to connect them. And for the credentials, you need two things. So for the credentials, you just need to have two things from your uh from Superbase. Then you bring them to n8n. The first one is the host, this link. So this is where you get it from. So the host is from data API. Yeah, so this is the link. You copy this, you paste it there, and the API key itself, you come here, and you have the API key. So you can see this is the API key that you want to copy. Then once you copy it, you also paste it here and you click on save. So everything will be saving. That means you've connected your Superbase to your n8n soft. Then what you are doing is you are working on row. So right, you are working on row, and this is delete. You are not adding to the row. You want to delete the previously existing row. You want to delete them. So that is why we are using delete here. And what we are using for our deletion, okay, so this table name or ID is whenever you create a new Superbase, so they will always give you this table named document. So they will give you, but if you want to use another one, you can create another one. But I just use uh the the automatically created one, so I just work with it and use it. So you can see these are the tables I have in my Superbase. You can decide to use a different one if you don't actually want to use this, but I work with this. So then come here. So yeah, you want to pick the document. You pick the document, which is the name of the table. Then what you are bringing is what? A string, because it is in form of this guy. So you want to use a string, and this is what you are not going to be using as your key point to know what you want to delete. So this is what you use, and this is the this is the how should I call it, the JSON code for it. If the file was to be a normal one, because I said the one I used, the metadata were not gotten, so that was why it did not work. But if your metadata was properly generated with the file, this is the correct JSON code you use. But here now, you now be dragging this file ID you got from the previous step and you put it here. You put it inside these two asterisks. So when you put it inside, this will allow the delete node to be able to go in there, check for this ID that is showing here. So it will check for it and went straight to clear it off before this thing now progress, before this workflow. So when this is deleted, so they are actually working independently. It's not like this guy is dependent on this guy. So you just did this for you to clear off the one that were previously created if it has been there before. But if it is not there before, this guy is not going to do any work. It won't be doing anything. The guy will just come here. This guy will search. It will search into the Superbase. If it sees nothing that was needed, then this guy is still going to progress. But what you want to do here is you want to set this guy. So because you know it is an empty output, you want to delete. So when you delete everything, it will surely be passing out empty output. So that means nothing is being given out. So the workflow, the node might feel like maybe it is not working properly and it is going to stop. It will stop it. So you have to just set it to always output data. Like whether it's have a data or not, output something, because you cannot have any data from a delete row. You are cleaning everything, and for a successful execution of a delete node, you will not have an outcome. So you want to set it to always output data. So and that will make the workflow progress from here to the next level if you set it to always output data, so it progresses to the next level, which is the limit node. So this is actually not doing much work. It's not doing much work. What it is doing is it is just limiting the amount of data that is passing from ear to ear. It is not really needed actually, because this is what we are now using. So, and what we are doing here is, so after you've deleted this guy, so I told you they are independent on each other. It is not like this guy has to work for this guy to work. No, they are independent. So what this one is just doing is, if the new file you uploaded, if it exists before the file ID, this one will delete it before now downloading it and taking it to what, to recursive character text splitter for it to we get here. So this is not doing much work. So if you remove it, nothing is going to happen, and if you leave it, nothing is going to happen. So you can even replace it with a split. You replace it with a split in batches, which is still the same thing. So now, after you've deleted this guy, so I told you these are not having any, like, they don't have any uh, relationship together, so they are working differently. So the file you uploaded, this file you uploaded is what this one is working on, not the file this one deleted. No, this one might not see anything to do if the file does not exist before, but this one will work regardless of the delete node. So what this one is now doing is, the new file you uploaded, it is going to download it from your drive. You download what you've uploaded, you are downloading it from your drive. Now this will is what we will be using. The file you downloaded is what you will now be passing for this guy. So whenever you see a flow like this and it is going downward, just know it's what, or the operation is always starting from the lowest guy, taking it back to the one above it, taking it back to here, and from here to here. Yeah, so these and these are working together. So that is what we are seeing in the table, but we are coming there. So now this guy is going to download the file. It will go straight and download the new file you uploaded. So when it downloaded it, so how to do this is, you will go and select a Google Drive node. So what you want to do is, you want to download a new file resources. So is a node, right? So this is a node. Then you want to download, so let me show you this. So it's a Google Drive, because you want to download the file you uploaded here. So you want to download it for the flow to work. So you can see this download file. So this is what you are seeing inside here. So this download file, you have to connect your Google Drive account. I have already mentioned that. So what you are working on is a file, not folder, because you want to download the file this time around. The first one, you are working on the folder itself. We are monitoring when the file is going to be uploaded inside the folder, but this one, you are downloading the file itself. The file, go, you are downloading it. That is why we have file here. Then what you are doing is, you are downloading the file. So whatever pattern it is, you want to download it. Now what we are using to download is by ID, because we can have more than one. Let's say we uploaded like 3 files at a time. You upload 3, 4, 5 times at a time. So they are basically going to have different IDs. So that means this guy will be able to download them separately. Download the first one, second one, and the third one. So that means you use the ID. So, and okay, no matter the number of files you uploaded will be shown here. Their output will be shown here. So so the output will be shown here. This is just showing a single one. We are having a single one here, just this copy of Google Drive. Let's say I uploaded 3 files at a time. You have them, one, the other one will be next to this, the other one will be next to this. So, and the file ID will be extracted with this guy, which he extracted the 3 IDs. It is going to extract them one after the other and place them like this. So instead of having one item, we'll be having 3. And when they are being extracted, this also will be able to go into the Superbase and search for the files. If you've uploaded it before, if you notice the ID are there, it will clear every file that has those ID off the Superbase store. And from there, also this guy, we are downloading using ID. So if now we uploaded 3 files at a time, it will be downloading them one after the other. And before, instead of having one item, you now be having 1, 2, 3 items here because you uploaded 3, and you can see binary here, binary, because it is in form of a file. You bind it already, and what actually did the binding magic is this Google Doc. So this conversion you did here, so you did this conversion. So okay, let me show you how to get this. So we are using a Google Drive node. So Google Drive node, right? Drive. So Google Drive, you use this, you want to download, you click on the download, and so that thing you are seeing is just converting Google file conversion. So you see add conversions. So we have Google Docs. If it is in form of Google Doc, which is here, this guy, which is Google Doc here, it will convert it into PDF. So okay, these are the initials. So these are the default. So I'm not using these guys. So but these are the default. Let me remove this. Let me remove this guy. You don't need it. So so you can see I converted every file, every type of files back to PDF for it to be in a binary form, which we'll be using for the next stage. So that is why we converted everything into PDF, and the PDF is in form of binary, and this is why you are seeing the output as what, as a binary. So every output that is coming from here will be in form of binary. Now let's proceed. So we've downloaded the file. So this is clear. You are using by ID because you want to use the ID of the file that was downloaded, that was uploaded into the Google Drive folder. So you want to use the ID to decide what you are going to download. So that is what you are doing here. So and when you download, this is the output that you'll be generating. So and once you did this, you connect it to what, this Superbase vector store, and as they used to say, your vector, the embeddings you'll be generating, so they are in vectors. You can see, let me show you again. So these guys are in vectors, you can see them. So okay, they are in vectors. You can see this is 1, after the comma is 1, then 2, then 3, 4. You can see everything is inside a bracket. So everything here are now vectors. Everything inside this guy, they are vectors. So and you see this is this is very large. That's why you are seeing this warning, like I am using 1024 vectors. So which means you have these guys 1, 2, 3, 4. They are going to be up to 1024 inside a single bracket, and the first one will be that way. This one they'll be 1024. This guy 1024. 3 1024. Those are vectors, so they are going to be equal to each other. So if you know vector, that is what they are basically saying. So you have vectors inside of brackets, and they have equal numbers for you to be able to match them together. So if one is having a lower number to another one, they can work together. So though in operations, in calculations, there are way they can be related, but this is comparing like this to this. If one it is less than one, they will not compare, they will not match together. And this is what we are doing here with this Superbase vector store. This is a vector store because we are storing vectors. We are storing vectors inside this shelf. The library, I told you that we have shelves, so we are storing vectors in them, in the library. Okay, so now the next node after this is what, the Superbase vector node. And to get that, you just come here and you get like a vector, type vector. So vector, all these guys are also vector, but we are using the Superbase vector store, this guy. So the vector store is this, so don't get confused by the vector store or whatever. It is just storing vectors for you. That is what it means by a vector store. So the Superbase vector store is where you now store all the vectors you converted from this. So the vectors are converted using this guy from what, this folder. Now to do this, you just, okay, let me show you how to create this step by step for you to know what we want to do here. So I'll just show you a similar a similar creation of this, so that you won't get confused by that. So okay, let me explain this first of all. This guy you are uploading, this file we downloaded, I told you everything starts from the bottom, and the bottom here you can see it is a text splitter. This guy is a text splitter. It is splitting the file you uploaded, the file you downloaded rather. It will go inside it and split it into pieces. Like you want to add a textbook into a library. So when you give it to this guy, like should I call it a librarian? No, not really librarian. So, but is the guy that is in charge of, okay, every new file you bring is going to now tear them into pieces. Maybe a book that is containing 1,000 pages. You give it to him, he is going to tear it into 10 pages. Tear, split them. So the reason why it is now split, okay, but let us open this. You can see. So the chunk size, this chunk size is the characters. Characters, the chunk actually means character, but you know it is being chunked. Like it tear the words, it tear them. But the amount of characters that will be contained inside every single tears, every book it tears, will now be 1,000 characters. 1,000 characters. And what that is telling you is when you say I am a boy, I am a boy. Now you will now have I is one character. The space after it is as another character. Is two letters, that is making it 4. A, so you have a space 5, A 6, space 7, boy, which is 3 letters. We now make it 10. That means you have 10 chunks. You have 10 chunk size inside that statement. I am a boy. So when you are now tearing from this Google file you downloaded, it will now go inside it and count all the words inside them. It will count them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Once it reaches 1,000, it will now tear it. It will tear it, and why it is tearing is for it to be easier for the downloader, this default downloader, to take it upward for the. So you can see, okay, let me show you how the tearing is. So this one you are seeing here, this is the first chunk. That means the first page it tears. So this is it. It will not be up to 1 tab. You know we are using we will still get there. We are using a model of 1024 chunk size. So that means whatever you are going to tear must not be more than 1024. So you must be cautious of that. So that means we are now going to limit this to 1000. We don't want it to exceed 1024. So you are just leaving it at 1000. You can put 1024, but it is not necessarily needed. But you can also say 1010, but it must not be 1025. That is beyond the Cohere embedding you are using. So that means it is not going to be able to process all the chunks. So now we have this as the chunk size. Now we are seeing overlap. Let me explain this overlap for you. The overlap is for the AI to relate the data together. Like the first tier you have and the second tier you have, it is counting them up to 1000. When it gets to 1000, it sends it. That is the first chunk size. It will now proceed to what? To the next chunk, starting from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 to 1000. It will send it. But if it is being sent differently, there will not be any relations between the first one and the second one. So the AI will not be able to detect that. So for you to now put that into consideration for the AI to know, you will now do overlapping. Like the overlap will now be after you tear the first one, the second one will now start from the end of the first one. The first one you tear. Now this second one you want to tear, we now go back a little bit to take some part of the first one and now add it to the new 1000 it is going to add. Now let me show you a practical example of that. So this is the first here, right? So, and you can see and material specified in your permission request. So let us open the second one. You see it is starting from the ending of the first one, and this is the overlap. 200 overlap, which I said the 200 characters started from this guy. So that's why you are saying it is just for the AI to. If you go to the end of this, so you can see let me check the starting of the first one: special, consequential, primitive. So let's go. You'll be able to see it. You can see it here at the end of the second one. So that is the overlap. Take it from the end of the second one and use it as the start of the third one, which means the AI will be able to know these two files are related to each other. So that means if you upload a new file, like 2, 3, 4, 5 files, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at a time, if the chunk is created, first file will not be mixing up with the second file. Like you give, like you give 5 books to this guy to tear. This text splitter, you give him 5 books to tear. You have one on biology, one on physics, one on chemistry. That means everything it is going to tear, the overlap will be meant for the biology will have overlap on each other. But when it gets to the end of the book, it is not going to mix it with the chemistry. The chemistry will start afresh. They will not connect to the biology here. So they are different. They are in different cases. So that is what this overlap is doing. I believe you understood that. So and to do this, we actually use a recursive. So when you get here, so you can see this recursive text splitter. You click on it and you see the chunk size. So initially you won't have overlap, but you have to add overlap. You might decide to use 100. It's not necessary to use 200. I just use that for the let me remove this. So this is what I'm using. So that is the work of the text splitter. Now to the default loader. So now this default loader, what it is doing is, after you've tear everything, you place it on the floor. You place everything on the floor. After you've tear it, this guy that used to tear everything. So once he finished the tearing, he puts them on the floor. This for default data loader is what you now gather all of them. Okay, these are chemistry. Okay, these are what you tear in chemistry. You will be the one to load them into here. You can see this guy. It is the one that loads them into here. I believe you see this. So it is the one loading the data being tiered by the text splitter, which is here. So after this guy finished tearing everything, this guy will now take them and put them into what? Into the shelf. Like, okay, this is for this for this for this for this. Put them into the shelf, and you can see what you are doing here is the type of data you are loading is a binary data. You get? So this is a PDF you downloaded. This is a binary data. So if you have JSON, you can also put JSON, but this is a binary. And what you are doing is you load all inputs. You load all. So if you want to like specify, maybe you don't want to load some certain part of the file, you can come to that load specific data. So but you load all. Data format. Data format is automatically detected by what? The MIME type. So that means the format of this data, you can see it here, which is a PDF. So that is what is detecting it. So don't get confused. And the text splitting, you must set this to custom. Set this to custom. So for you to have this, for you to be able to set up this text splitter, if you are not using custom, you won't be able to do this. So now after that, you add a field. You see this guy, you see it at the bottom. So that is when you now put what? The field name. This field id, what you are now using it for is to you can see here in the Superbase store, every chunk you tear. Okay, this is the metadata. Right, so every chunk you tear will have their unique ID. This ID, that makes it unique for that file you uploaded. So and the only way you can get this ID is setting it here, there. If you don't set it here, you will not get it there. And to set this ID, you know what we are doing is you just come here, you put this as the field. You can name it a different way, but just name it as field. So for you to be able to relate it with this deletion, because here we said field. So we said the field is now equals to what? Something like JSON file ID. This file ID that was brought from here. And that was what we are using. Where was I? For here. That was what we are using. And because this is what the file loader, to be the one to load in the file. So and you want to set this ID for it. So you can see you can still add more property. So but to get this file ID, you can just come here, click on the drop down, you go to the edit where you extract the ID from the file you created. So you can just come here and click on this, then drag it and drop it here. So that is how you get the file ID saved. So after this, now you've tear the new file you uploaded, you've tear it, you've uploaded them into what? Into your super base. These are the file you tear. You've uploaded them. Now, we want to convert them into embeddings. Embeddings are something like figures I showed you earlier, something like this. These are embeddings. These numbers we are seeing here, you can see up here, so they are vector and they are embeddings. So to do that, you need another platform to convert word in text into embeddings, like embeddings in number and figures. So, and the platform that is doing that at a free level, which I understood currently, there might be other ones, but this one did a very good work based on what uh, Coach Uche explained. So they did a very good work by just having a very large trial for the free stage. So what you want to do is you go to Cohere. So you can see the embeddings Cohere. So this is Cohere. You want to sign up for Cohere. Okay, so when you sign up, after signing up, this is what you are going to see. So to get your API, very easy, like one of the most easy platform to get API from. So this is just it. You just come here and create key. If you don't see it here, just create the trial key, create another one, use it. So when you want to add your Cohere account, so when you want to add it, you just come and click on this exit. So let me remove this. So you just come here. So this, you can see it at the top. You click on this and you have to connect your credentials first. So this is what it asks for, just the API key. You can see it. That is all you need to connect your Cohere account. And the embeddings, don't forget, the embeddings are 1024. That is the model we are using. If you are using a model that is having more than 1024, you can put something like this guy, 4096. You can use that. So that is for currently we can use what the model that is what 1024. That is why I'm setting it up here. So okay, let's get back to this. So you can see you must choose this 1024. You choose this guy, and that is all we are doing, because what the chunk size you tear is what is in 1000 characters, and this one, the highest it can take is 1024. So that means it will get to before reaching the exit. So that means it can contain everything you have tiered with the text splitter, which you loaded with the default loader. So let me connect this back. So now what is now happening here is this guy you loaded is to be converted into embeddings. Now both the loader, the text, and the embeddings that was generated by Cohere will now be stored in your Superbase vector store, which is here. So this is what Cohere did all this. The default loader did all this, but this guy is merging them together using what the okay. Oh, thank God I remember this. So to get this table, when you get here, when you enter your Superbase, so to connect this, but first of all you want to do the credential connection. Since now I've explained this here, so you want to do this. So after you do this, you want to create this thing you are seeing here, this table you are seeing. It is doing this merging based on the SQLI. The SQLI upload where is this guy? Okay, it is loading. So it was generated based on the SQLI uploaded here. So let me show you. Once you click on this, I believe you saw that click. You click on these docs, then you come here and you scroll up. So you scroll up, you are getting the SQL. Where is this guy? Where is this? Okay, yeah. So after you've clicked on that, I believe you saw what I clicked. When you are in your Superbase vector store, you click on this. So when you click on this, it is going to take you here. So So now you just scroll up and come to this place. You want to get the SQL for you to be able to match your data to the vectors, the text with the vectors. Now you click on this. So you saw what I clicked, right? Yeah, you click on this quick start for setting up your vector store. Once you click on it, you will see this SQL write up, this codes. Just copy everything. Just come here and copy this. So once you copy this guy, you copy it here. So you now go to your n8n, your super base which you've created before. I showed you. I click on this. You click on this SQL editor. You must do this before you run the node. So you come here and you paste everything. You paste everything inside here, this SQL editor. Everything you copy, you paste it here. Then you click on this run. So once you click on run, it is going to show you a confirmation text underneath here. So and what this is saying is, you can see create a table store, a table to store your documents. You want this SQL to tell this database to create a table to save what your data you are sending from here. You want it to create a store that will now be merging what the text and the embeddings. And now once you save them, you are now also creating what a function, like a search node, like a librarian, that if you send the guy into what the this super base database, if you send it there, you'll be able to get all the needed information. But what you should note is, because from what we copied, you will be seeing 1536, which is used for OpenAI embeddings. So you want to change it to 1024, which we are using for our vector embedding in the Cohere setup. So in this Cohere setup, this Cohere, we are using 1024. So you want it to match, to be similar. So you change this guy to 1024 and also this guy to 1024, then you run it. So don't forget to change it to 1024 before you run it. So then after you run it, it will understand the function it is going to be performing. So this data you are now seeing here is automatically sent from what the file we sent through here. So everything that got here, this default loader, these are the text and these are the embeddings. So everything is now created to match each other inside our super base store. So to do this, I've showed you how to do it. Just click here and choose default data loader. Is there anything I've not explained here? Load all input data. Okay, I've explained this part. I've also explained this part. So let's go back to super base. The embeddings. Okay, there is nothing much to explain. I've explained all this. So once you finish this, what you now did is you created a backend. These embeddings you created here is now being saved, and once you now send, I told you the embeddings you have here. So these embeddings you have here is different from the one you are having from here. They are not the same thing. This one is generated from your file, and the one you are having here is generated from the chat. So whatever this person sent will also be converted into embeddings using this guy. I told you always start from the one below. It turns into embeddings, which is in form of vector, like numerical representations for whatever they sent inside. So it changed it to embeddings, and these embeddings will now be compared to the one in your super base. This super base, you can see it is also here. It will compare the two together. Are they similar? If they are similar, that is the result it is going to pick for the question you are now asking to merge. It will compare the two, and this AI will now help him to determine which one fits most for the question they are asking, and it will now be sent to what this answer with. So this is just a tap that is connecting this guy and this guy together. So whatever it now generates will now be given to this guy, and it's the one to interact with you, receive your message, send you a message. So that means this super base is the same thing as this guy. I believe you are getting it. This super base is the same thing as this super base, but the difference is these embeddings which you are generating with Cohere, they are from different source. This is from the chat and this is from the file. But once it is being converted into embeddings, which are in form of vectors, it will now compare the one generated from here to the one generated from here, which is being sent here. This one is also being sent here. The two are now compared together. So now to check, are they similar in meaning? The semantic meaning I explained. So like if their meaning are closely related, it will now be picking them up for you. Now this AI will now go into it to check what exactly is the content of the embeddings which are generated. So these embeddings, these embeddings will be generated, this also will be generated. This guy will now take them. It will this super base, you have embeddings or being compared with the real text. So now this is what we now translate the embeddings which was generated into what? Text. This text is now what the Groq AI will be able to work on, because this one, it by itself, it cannot go into the embeddings and know what is being said. So this guy needs to do it, and this super base will now relate the two together. Once it's related, this one will now check into their meanings. Like, okay, regarding what my guy was saying and what I got from here, which words are closely related. So now let's go into this part. So now what we want to do here is we want to have a open chat, which is going to be a trigger, and this open chat is what I showed you when I started. So this is the link because it's an open chat. So I may decide to use Telegram for my chatting platform. So if you want to use Telegram, you can use the same, but I'm using an open chat, which means it will be an open link for everybody to visit and communicate with the AI. So you are using an open chat. Sorry. Okay, so we have the open chat. This is the link always. So you can see make chat publicly available. You set it to the public. So if you want to like make it available for certain people, you can decide to come here and do some no, sorry, I think it is here. So you toggle this off. So then you go to filter. So you can see no, this is not I'm trying to check. Okay, yeah, this is authentication. This is what I mean. So you can use authentication and you set it for maybe if they want to chat, they need to go through the authentication before they can interact with this AI or not. So but you want to make it open for everybody. You get? So you have to change the initial message. The one I'm using here is I I am okay. You can see when I first open the chat, this is a last name, so you can just say this is something food. You can say this is food co plc. This is welcome to Meta. How can I help you? Welcome to Google. How can I help you? Just put it there. This is what the AI will send as the initial message. So to get this, you just go to trigger, then you get this AI, click on it. You are going to see, no, is it here? No, not here. Sorry. You go to this chart, so you can see this chat trigger. So this is what we are using here. So after you get that, it will be passing out this. So this is now the AI agent which we are using. So and the AI agent is the guy I just showed you right now. This guy I showed you right now. So this AI agent, you click on this and you come here, you click on this guy. So this is what we are using, this AI agent guy. So that is what we are using here. And what it is doing is, it's when it gets the message from here, this is its own brain that he is using, this brain. So like this is what it's used to digest the question from the customer that sent the message. It digests the message. This is the memory, and this is where it gets the files. The way it gets access to documents to use it for this AI to respond. So this is like the brain to talk. Like this is the let me say this is the mouth. This is the mouth. So all these are brain actually. All these are brain. So this is the mouth. Here is the memory inside the brain. Like okay, before you say something, think first. But now, where am I going to get what I need to respond with? This is where it goes to get it from. So now This is what speak and interact with the customer. This is the memory to know what has been discussed, and this is the data store to know what should you say. What should you say? Don't just say an open platform, you just talk to everybody. So, and when you are using a chat model, it is being loaded with some data. Like the model is loaded with say data. So this is why you must be conscious of the prompt you will set here. So this system message. So when you get to AI agents, when you get to AI agents, when you get to AI agents, click on this AI agents. So you click on this add option and you go to system message. So that is the prompt you want to set for the AI. Okay, I'm coming. So when you get here, what you are saying is you want it to act in a certain manner. Maybe you want it to use your documents, because if you don't tell this AI all the questions I asked here, you can see this question I was asking. So this who is Elon Musk? If you did not tell him, I actually tested that before I introduced the prompt. If you fail to tell him the prompt, if you fail to give him a proper prompt, this who is Elon Musk, he is going to answer them. And with that, your token is being consumed, which is why you need to like give him a strict rule, like, okay, don't do beyond this, don't do beyond this. So if they ask something that is not respond this way, so you have to tell it everything. So let me show you mine. Though I got it from Coach. So this is the one. So you can see you are a helpful, knowledgeable Google brand assistant. So I got it from Coach, then I formulated it into my own to suit what I'm creating for. So you say your job is to answer questions using the most relevant information retrieved from the Superbase vector store. Tell him that, because if you don't tell him and you just go like, don't answer what is not what you are not designed for, every question they ask, it will be telling them, I don't know, I don't know. So you must tell the AI to use the information retrieved. Now after that, so which contains, you tell him the content of the document which you uploaded in your Superbase. So it contains so and so. So use the provided context to answer as accurately and helpfully as possible. So now you may paraphrase or synthesize across multiple snippets to improve clarity, but do not invent vector or speculate beyond the document. Now you see here, when I asked for this question which is inside the document, it give me this response, and I now ask again, what do you just say? Instead of repeating this, it change it to his own words. I say, okay, this is what I said. If maybe you don't understand, let me give you another explanation. So you just see, this is why it changed it by itself, even without, because of what was said here. So just ensure you use an accurate prompt. So I may provide this, but since you are not using the same document, it might be of issue. So if the answer is unclear or not present in the document, respond with blah blah blah. So but you can get this one I'm going to drop. Then you just take it to an AI, give it to AI again and say, okay, this text, I want to change it to suit this document I'm creating. So the AI will also help you to create your own prompt. That was what I did. So strict boundaries, you say only answer question related to blah blah. So all these ones are just prompts. So how to set this up? So you don't need to set much. This is not to be set by you. So once you choose the AI agent, this will be there because you want to use the chat input that was sent by the messenger, the customer rather. So now from there, the first thing you want to do is you connect your Groq chat model. So if you go to Groq, just go to Groq and okay, this is Groq. So when you create your account, you might get yourself somewhere here. But for the dashboard, this is the dashboard. You want to get your playground. So in this playground, you'll be able to know which models are free. Yet, so you can change your models. You know models which are free here. So when you open them and you send message to them, so if they are not free, they are not going to respond. They will tell you to subscribe. So the free ones are the ones you will be using inside your setup. So to get the API key, this is where you get it from. So you can see I've used 17 API calls. I've called this a model. I've used this 17 times. So that is what it is saying here. So your API key, if you don't have it, you can just come here, create API key, then write the name of the API, then you click on enter. So I'm not creating a new one. So after you created that, you come here and so you don't need to set much here. You just use the credential, click here, as you can see, click here. So once you do this, you set it up. Okay, let's go to Postgres because that is a little bit technical. And the model I'm using, you can see this is OS20B because it is free. That is what I'm using. So for the Postgres, which is the memory, so a free one you can use because we've already been using Superbase. So it would be nice for you to just go straight and use Postgres. And to use Postgres, Postgres is just like a underling on this guy this guy we are using. Postgres is something under it. So to use Postgres, okay, sorry, to use Postgres, just open it. You can see these are the credentials that are needed. So these are the credentials that are needed, the host. So to get all this, you basically come here, click on this, you go to your Superbase. So we go inside the project you want to use. So because this, so you come here, then you click on this connect, and you scroll up, come to this transaction pooler. So here are the details you need. So you copy this for the host, for the ports, for database and user post. You insert everything step by step into this stage. But for this password, you will be using the password you used while registering for Superbase. You must insert your password here. So if you forget your password, you can just go and maybe you forgot password and you create a new password for Superbase. So you insert the password here, and here, so you can see everything I set up. You just ignore this SSL issue for security issue. It might not allow you to connect if it doesn't meet up with what was needed. So you do this host, you put it here, Postgres, the database, user, you have your user here. Did I show you that? So you can see the user here. So you just copy it and you paste it there. So you do everything one after the other. The maximum number of connections is 100. So then after you completed everything, once you complete everything, you just click on the save. You click on save up here. So and that is how you connect your Postgres. And what Postgres do is it is acting as the memory to remember, like the way my chatbots remember what I was saying here. Oh my god. Sorry. uh, Sorry for this. So the way my chatbot was able to remember what I was saying here. So it has said it before and it remember. So and for you to know where your Postgres data are being stored, you come here. You can see n8n chat histories. So this is the default name that was used for the Postgres account after I created it. Here is it. So you can see the table name here. So that is why you are seeing it over there. So session ID, you connect chat trigger node. And so context window, this is how much do you want it to remember. So I just want it to remember the last 5 chats with the customer. So after that, you come here. So this is the tool for this AI to use. So you come here, click on this. So yeah, you can describe this if you like, but I did not bother for that. So the limit is 4. And the vector store, this is the vector store we are using. So what we want to do here is we want to retrieve documents from the vector store. So the document you retrieve is what you relate with this embedding. Hey, try to note that. So you want to retrieve documents from the vector store, which was that vector store you have in your Superbase, the data you uploaded here. So that is what you want to retrieve here. So once you click on this, you retrieve as a vector store for chain 2. So from that it's almost time. I want to go to mosque. So from list, you click on documents, the document, because you have list here, list of tables. You have list of tables here. You have documents, you have anything. This one was created for the Postgres. So you can see how it is here. So you say this is how the the okay Postgres, this Postgres. So you say human, this is what the person say, and this is what the AI reply with. So you can see the one I just said now. You can see this was the last message. What is Google something? The AI reply with this, and I still say, what did you just say? You now say I just explained D blah blah blah. So you see everything here. Every interaction with your AI will be saved here. So now you just come here and use for the retriever. You want to retrieve data from the document, this document here. This is where you want to retrieve your data from. So don't mix it up. You want to retrieve all the data here to use for replying to for you to compare with the new embeddings that was created by this Cohere. So this one is just creating embeddings, so nothing much. It's not doing anything much. So you use this guy to create embeddings. So and also ensure you uh, make this all. So you can click on this, you see this query name, match document, just click it, it automatically bring it here. So now from here you get this and this. Then now for this end, I told you what they are doing. They are working together. So you just come here and also you click your Groq account you've already used and you use the same model you used earlier. So for it to get what this guy is bringing up and to know okay which one is suit what the person is asking about, and it will merge all the data together and use it to respond the uh the where is it? I'm looking for something. I couldn't see that. I don't know. Okay, this guy. I'm not explaining this guy. So you say I'm using 4 as the limit. That means the amount of embeddings that will be gotten from here, I want it to just get 4 embeddings, like not more than 4. So the 4 that is being generated from here will now be taken here. So this AI will now go through the 4 and maybe it is going to merge them together or remove some or use only one of it. This AI will decide and send it back to this AI agent, and which is what the user will now be seeing in the interaction phase. So I don't know, maybe this is perfectly understood. I expect everything to be clear actually. So basically what we are doing here is everything you have at your right hand side is just you saving the document for the document of the brand. These documents are now being saved in form of embeddings. So these embeddings will be saved with the text. These embeddings are in figures. These guys are in what? Text. They are using it to use with each other. So you can actually test it. You can test it here. So you can test it here before you. So you can come here and say test. So if you open this guy, you can test it here and say okay, I. So it's like this is how it will be interacting with people. So you say I. So the AI is going through all this. So okay, I've already activated it. It might not work. So because I left it to now be working with live trigger. You get. So yeah, let me do it again. It just loaded all the data from here. So all the data from here, it's loaded everything now. So now let's go again. Say I. So now, so you can see it now bring out an outcome. It bring out an output from what we said. Now let's now say I want to. So this question I asked before, let me ask again. So you can see it generated the result, but you should be very cautious because this is using token. It's using tokens, and the more you use it, the more you are getting to your limit, your free tier limit, monthly limit. So once you get there, it will not work again. So you want to use it. You want to use it wisely. So if you now say just summarize this. So let's say the customer is saying the same thing for the AI. This is what it will reply with. So you can see the AI is doing this on himself based on the prompt that is here. Don't miss this. The prompt here is what is allowing it to generate the response. So after you are now done with everything, you want to click on save. You save, then you now turn this on. So if you now turn this on, and okay, let me click this. You can use L. You can use L. Click on the letter L on your keyboard, so you can see it will take this downward. You can also click it to bring it up. So now, after you are done with everything, you want to toggle this on, and the what, you copy the link. Then you can also use it the way I'm using mine. So I believe this is clear. Thank you all, and thank you for staying with me till the end. Bye.